Hello students of class 12, hope you are all doing well. So today we will be discussing some parts of dispersion, basically the standard deviation part. Now the concept of standard deviation I have already discussed in your class, right? So here we will focus in this video on some of the sums of standard deviation. Now I have already make you done the standard deviation for ungrouped data, or we can say individual series. Now if you notice, the sum which I have make you done in the class was for the values of the variables were very small, like 2, 6, 4, something like that. Okay, here you can see the values of x are very high, right? It's 49, 63, 46. So if we find it's difficult to find, it's not difficult but it's become complex when we find the squares of this number 49, 63, 46. The squares of this number are very large, and as a result when we use these numbers to calculate the standard deviation, the calculation become very complex. So when you are given a very large number in case of a individual series or ungrouped data, we can do what we to make the sum easier. There is a process. What can we do? We can change the origin of the numbers by subtracting some number. Okay, now I have already discussed the properties of standard deviation, and there I have explained that in standard deviation, if we change the origin, then the standard deviation remains the same, but if we change the scale, the standard deviation changes. So here, to make the calculation of the sum easier, what will we do? We will change the origin. Now the next question comes, what origin should we consider? Right here, what origin, the origin that we are taking, which number should we consider the origin? Now the origin should be considered a number which is neither too large nor too small, whatever variables are given over here. Okay, now you notice the highest number which is given here. The highest number is 65. Okay, and the lowest one is, I guess, it's 46. Okay, so it should not be 46 or it should not be 63, somewhat between the numbers, like some number which will be not too large, not too big. So we can take, suppose, 50. Okay, 50 is a number which lies in between 46 and 63, a middle number. Or we can take, suppose, instead of 50 we can take, suppose, 52 also we can take. This is also a number which lies in between. So it is not mandatory that you have to take always 50 or 52. A number which lies in the middle of the data, which is not too large, not too big, so sorry, not too small, so that number we can consider as origin. Okay, so here in this sum I will consider the origin as 50. So what we will write here, we will define another variable which is y is equals to x minus 50. This minus 50, I have considered the 50 as an origin, and I am shifting the origin. Okay, so here what will we do? We will deduct 50 from each and every observation. So if we deduct 50 from each and every observation, we will get, here we will get minus 1. 49 minus 50 is minus 1. Okay, 63 minus 50 is 13. 46 minus 50 is minus 4. 59 minus 50 is 9. 65 minus 50 is 15. 52 minus 15 is 2. 60 minus 50 is 10. 54 minus 50 is 4. Okay, now we will take the square of this one. If we have taken the square of this one, large number would have came, right? So we have make it much easier. Now it is very easy to calculate the squares of this number. This is a small number and very easier to handle. So we will calculate y square here. So what will be the square of minus 1? It will be 1. Then it will be 169. Then it will be 16. It will be 81. This will be 225. This will be 4. This will be 100. This will be 16. Okay, now we will just sum it up. So if I take a total of this one will be how much? 48, and the total of this one is 612. Okay, So we can write it as summation y is equals to my 48 and summation y square is equal to 612. Okay, I hope this part is clear. Now I'm rubbing this part. What is my formula? Now as I have shifted the origin, so now I will calculate sigma y, not sigma x, because I have shifted the origin. Okay, so what is the n over here? If you have noticed, n is 8. There were 8 number of observation. Okay, there were 8 number of observation. Okay, and my summation y was 48 and summation y square was 612. So my formula for sigma y will be what? It will be sigma y square by n minus sigma y by n whole square, right? So sigma y square is how much? It is 612. N is how much? 8. What is sigma? So what is summation y by n? It is nothing but y bar, right? It is nothing. Okay, you don't have to put it in that way. We can just put the values of summation y, which is 48, and what is n? N is 8, right? So if we calculate this out, we will get, and we can cancel this out. This will be 6, and if we cancel this out, this will come in point. This will be 76.5. So this is 76.5 minus 36, which is 40.5. Okay, so sigma y will be equals to root over of 40. This is sigma square. Okay, this is sigma square because we have calculated the variance. We have not yet put the square root. So this will be sigma square y. Now we need to find the SD, and SD is sigma y. So sigma y is nothing but square root of 40.5. Okay, 40.5. So if you will calculate, you will get it as 6 something like 6.36. Okay, so my sigma x will be equals to sigma y will be because we have already defined that when we change in the origin, there is no effect in the SD, right? So sigma x will be equals to sigma y, and that is root over of 40.5. We will get it as 6.36. Okay, so this was the concept for standard deviation for ungrouped data, or you can say individual series, when the data given or the variables given are very large. So in that case, we can just change the origin to make the number smaller, so that we can do the calculation very easily. Okay, so I think you have understood. That's all for this video. Thank you.